Hello, Year 10, and welcome to today's lesson. We're going to start off with a knowledge retrieval task, and the question here is based on the work we were doing last time, and it's to do with Kim Kardashian's social media profile. The question is, how does Kim Kardashian's social media profile generate income? I'd like to spend about 10 minutes answering that question. 6-mark question, should be about 2 paragraphs. Pause this presentation, answer that question based on the work you did last time. When you're ready, move on, and I will give you a few pointers that you can use to mark your work. The most obvious way that it generates income is through selling products, since almost everything on those sites is designed to get you to buy stuff. There are also sponsorships. You'll notice that there are links with other products and companies we know that she is paid to tweet. We know that she can make upwards of £200,000, according to Forbes. The way that there are links to other sites, particularly her site. So even if you're not spending money on the Facebook page, you might go to her website and spend money there. And also you'll have noticed a lot of advertising. If you noted down one of those, you would get a mark for what you'd written down. You'd also get a mark for an example. You wouldn't just get you wouldn't get 6 marks for listing those things. You would need to, for each of them, give a point and an example from the website or the Twitter feed or the Facebook page. So have a look at what you've written. Have you included examples as well as identifying how the money is made? Today we're going to look a little bit at the gaming industry. Please put the title, The Gaming Industry. The gaming industry has been in existence for about 50 years. So it is still a comparatively recent media industry, but certainly not as recent as social media. In the 1970s was kind of the dawn of the gaming industry and was mostly focused in arcades. There wasn't really very much in the way of home gaming technology. It traditionally, stereotypically appealed to a young male audience. It was quite expensive and quite a niche activity. There were a few home machines like the Famco and Atari, but they were very expensive and comparatively low powered. In the 1980s, there was an increase in home computers, cheaper home computers like the Commodore 64 and the Sinclair Spectrum. And these were very low powered computers. The memory of a Spectrum was about 48K, and you couldn't actually save anything apart from to cassette tape. But you could still play games on them, and that brought gaming into people's homes in a slightly more regular way. In the late 80s and 90s, the first more significant consoles arrived, particularly Nintendo. And Nintendo consoles cemented home gaming and made it a bit more popular, although it was still a largely male-dominated activity. In the 2000s, with the increase in the power of the internet, that's when online gaming began. Prior to that, the only way you could collaborate with a game would be if you had players in the same room as you. With the rise of the internet, it became possible to play with players in other parts of the world, and indeed to download games rather than having to physically buy them. The Nintendo Wii, which came out in 2005, was really the first gaming console to become a family oriented product. Prior to that, consoles like the PlayStation, the Xbox had been more niche gamer oriented. The Wii, uh, particularly with female gamers, because of the use of the motion sensor controller, the remote, and the kind of games that were a lot more accessible, perhaps, than traditional console games. And then 2007 um, really is when mobile gaming on phones became a thing. Now, handheld consoles like the Nintendo DS had actually been around for quite a while, since the early 90s, but they were still, they were popular, but not wonderfully practical because of the very poor battery life. The introduction of games on mobile phones revolutionized the industry in that they were often free or even cheap, and we'll look at that in a bit more detail when we go on to Lara Croft. They were very easy to access and popular across a range of audiences, and they helped to popularize and monetize in-app purchases. In your own words, I'd like you to jot down that information about the gaming industry. Obviously, you are more than welcome to add your own ideas to that. How has Kim Kardashian Hollywood taken advantage? It's taken advantage because it is easy to download. You can download it in minutes onto your phone. You don't need specialist equipment to play it. And it takes advantage of the use of in-app purchases to generate income. Please make sure that you've written your own notes in your own words and then move on to the next slide. Kim Kardashian is not the only celebrity to make a game, but because Kim Kardashian is an exceptionally culturally significant figure, it might explain why she was asked to make a game and why the game is so popular. Kim Kardashian demonstrates the Western society's fascination with fame, celebrity, and success. The makers of the game, Glue, went to Kim Kardashian with the idea of the game, since clearly Kim Kardashian is iconic of fame and celebrity. Her cultural significance clearly makes her quite a marketable figure, and that explains why Glue might have approached her for the game as opposed to another celebrity. And her involvement has been that she has approved aspects of the character, clothes, storylines, and whatever, which gives the game a sense of authenticity. Now, it might be that that is in Kim Kardashian's nature to have that level of control, and that might be one of the reasons why the game works, because it has that touch of Kim, that sense that she is part of the process. Or it might be that she has that level of knowledge to make it authentic, to make it realistic. It might simply be that she is symbolic of that entire idea of fame and success. It's hard to say. But what it is safe to say is that Kim Kardashian demonstrates how the idea of celebrity has changed. Celebrity, up to a certain point, was about people who achieved tangible things. Actors, singers, dancers, performers, even models. Most celebrities up to, I would say, probably the early 2000s were generally famous for doing something. It is hard to say what Kim Kardashian actually does beyond being Kim Kardashian. And so she does demonstrate a change in celebrity. She is famous for being Kim Kardashian. She's famous for being a famous woman. Now, within that, there are certain what we might call cultural signifiers. Um, she is Some might say sexualized, some might say sexy, some might say body confident, but Kim's image is very much linked towards her physical look, her body shape, makeup, clothing, what she does. And that is emphasized. You've noticed that on the website, on the Twitter feed, that Kim is very, very heavily photographed, and the way she looked is very important. And she is obviously a significant figure. She has millions of followers. She can command a lot of money for doing what she does, and she is world famous. And that gives her a tremendous cultural power. She's obviously a successful businesswoman. She's obviously a successful woman, and that does make her very important. And whether or not you regard her as a bimbo, whether or not you regard her as somebody who flaunts either her wealth or her sexuality, it doesn't change the fact that she has succeeded and she is very good at what she does. It does make her divisive. For some people, she is a role model. People want to be like Kim Kardashian because she emphasizes success and she emphasizes the power of celebrity. But other people see her as what is called cultural decay. The fact that she is so successful suggests that culture itself is becoming worthless. The fact that we celebrate somebody who has no discernible talent beyond being themselves, when there are many, many other more talented people who achieve less success, suggests cultural decay. Now, this is again one of those things where if you don't listen to what I'm saying, you won't know what cultural decay is. Please make sure that you've written that down. As well as being a significant cultural figure, Kim Kardashian has social significance. Remember the difference between cultural and social. Cultural is to do with how you have an impact on the arts and the media. So what we've been talking about previously is Kim Kardashian as a media celebrity. Kim Kardashian has a social significance as well. She has a clear influence on a global scale in terms of what people look like and how people act. As mentioned, she is a role model, and that gives her a tremendous amount of social impact. People are interested in what Kim Kardashian does, what Kim Kardashian looks like, and why. The way that she interacts with other people has a currency. It has an importance. The people that she knows, the people that she speaks to, the people that she works with, these feed into magazines like OK, the gossip columns, and so on and so forth, that provide an insight into the world of Kim Kardashian. She represents a kind of lifestyle that almost all of us are never going to experience. It could be argued that she lives that life for us, that we look at Kim's life and we get a taste of what it means to be famous, or at least that particular kind of fame. And it could be argued that the game itself gives us a taste of that. The game gives us an insight, possibly an idea, an avatar of what it means to be famous like Kim Kardashian. Make sure, in your own words, that you've noted down the social significance of Kim Kardashian, the fact that she is an aspirational figure to millions of people, that people buy her products so that they can look like her and be like her, that maybe people play the game so they can have a taste of the experience of being Kim Kardashian. And then when you've done that, move on to the next slide. I'd like you to do another research task now. This should take you about 10-15 minutes. I'd like you to find examples of other personality-based mobile games. I've given you a few examples here, many of which, it has to be said, no longer exist because they didn't do as well as Kim Kardashian. You've got Britney Spears, Nicki Minaj, Katy Perry, Gordon Ramsay. See if you can find any others and note down how the developers of those games are using the celebrities to try and get people to play their game. So once you've identified a game, see if you can find any examples of social media appearance of that game. If you want to, you can use these games. Although, as I say, I don't know how many of them are still in existence. Or there might be a game that you know. So spend about 10 minutes researching any other games similar to Kim Kardashian Hollywood, which seem to use celebrity as a marketing tool. Okay, and to finish off with a question. Why are games featuring celebrities popular? Obviously, you can refer to Kim Kardashian Hollywood. You can refer to any of the games that you've just looked at. 6 mark question, 2 paragraphs. It should take you about 10 minutes. When you finish the question, if you can photograph your work, if you can upload your work to the team's assignment, make sure that you have clicked, that you've turned it in, and that is it.